Hey everybody, Joe here with you from lovely downtown Bozeman, Montana, Music Villa, legendary music store. Blaze could not be here today. We got this weird text this morning, Dustin and I. He plays in this band. It's a Captain and Tennille. It's called Captain and Tennille Diamond, and it's like a Neil Diamond with Captain Tennille. You get the idea. And they hit it a little hard last night. Things got weird. They had some Fleetwood Mac moments. They slept with each other. They got shit-faced. And he couldn't make it in today. Yeah, but, miss you, Blaze. Miss you. So I showed up this morning, and there's just this wonderful pile of junk down here. I don't know if, I don't know what happened. Looks like somebody was doing some shredding on some skateboards down here. They got a little wild. It actually looks much like the aftermath of Blaze's Captain and Tennille Diamond show. Just parts, except there's more ripped up clothes and bodily fluids and stuff after Blaze's thing. But yeah, so I'm excited. There's some interesting stuff in here. Hopefully their beer will be here. Oh, yes. Just as I said, beer. Timmy Bowers.
Did you say be here?
Beer.
Beer. Hey, what's up? I'm trying to find some scrap material, something to refine. You guys got anything down here? I got some refined barley for you here. And
yeah.
So hey man, I just wandered in, found all my stuff here. Thanks for having me, Joe. And yeah, this is exciting to be down here and recollect all my junk.
Awesome. Well, this is Timmy Bowers, everybody.
Hello. Cheers.
And longtime Bozeman musician, just period.
Long time Music Villa shopper.
Music Villa shopper.
Ambassador.
Yep. He's actually Timmy is actually in the level now where his kids shop here. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
His kids are playing.
I'm passing the torch on to them, trying to make sure that we, flood the population with more musicians.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Which is exciting for Dad that his kids are interested in it, excited about it, writing songs, rocking, playing.
Definitely.
It's pretty cool.
They turned me on to stuff now. I used to try to make them listen to all the heavy stuff I listen to, and
they're like, Dad, check
they're
this
just
out.
now they're just turning me on to cool stuff. And I actually took my oldest kid to see Mastodon over the summer.
Did he like it?
Oh yeah, he was blown away.
Cool, man, that's awesome.
So
and they grew up with drum sets all around the house, and
they were hearing my horrible noise in utero. They're like, So
that's pretty cool. It's coming full circle.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that definitely makes.
Are they into skating? They skate. Don't
they both skate. Yeah. That's another thing I tried not to push. They went from the little foot powered stuff to this really tiny little scooter phase where I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna be a hater. They're my own.
Stay out of the park. Stay off the skate.
Well, that was the rule. I'm like, you can use them anywhere but the skate park, because you're going to get run over, I know, from experience. That's what happened with this sport. I hit a scooter kid, and it was just splinters everywhere. I mean, I apologize. The kid was bigger than me. He was like 12. That's all, just, part of the thing. That's how I recycle boards, No, typically, actually, the boards come from all over.
Really? Yeah.
Some are from friends, but a lot of them I just put a call out for broken stuff.
Yeah, let's crack a beer.
Yeah. You do it, man. You know me, I'm actually 3 years, no beers, so
nice.
Those are all you guys.
Good job, Timmy.
Yeah, I was
You're 3 years
I'm
now?
scrawny, man. Beer just destroyed me. I always needed a den mother to follow me around to be like, help him walk.
I have a walker. When I get really drunk, just walker.
See, I tried that out, but the little tennis balls things I put on the bottom, they kept falling off, because then I'd be sliding around.
You use it for self-defense, too.
Well, it's getting heavy.
Oh yeah, you could. I put 4 swords in mine. 4 swords each.
I just start carrying these guitars around everywhere. It's like weaponry. I'm gonna start to create handmade massive sheaths for these to wear on my back.
Oh yeah. So let's check out this beer. I've never seen this.
I know, I haven't either because I haven't shopped for beer in a long time, and it just had a goat on it. So
this is worth saying. It's the Devastator Double Buck from Wasatch Brewery. It's just, and you gotta look at
I know
this
it's
can.
not local, but sometimes you just have to deflect and,
Oh no, look at this.
rebel.
I get this. You get to spend a moment with this can.
I just remember what I liked in beer, and
it's the Capitol building and a flaming goat
I love
blasting
it.
out of the burning Capitol.
It's like a synopsis of my political views right now. And I didn't even notice that until now.
If you're going to sin big. 8% alcohol, baby. Yeah! By volume and I need to drink beer.
This is why I quit drinking.
And a creamy richness. This brew has developed a serious cult following. Imagine that, a cult following in Utah. It's from Utah.
I know. That's what the other irony about.
Wasatch, the Wasatch Range.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, good job, Utah. An 8% beer from Utah. That is sweet.
I got a couple bingo check marks there. I'm like, man, sweet.
All right. Good job, Utah.
Hey, I just kind of looked at it like when I did drink, it was always anything above 5%, just because I liked dank beer.
Yeah. As I get older, man, I can't drink a bunch of beer.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? I want to drink like 1 or 2. So, high alcohol beer is awesome.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
Moderation.
This is pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
It's tasty. Thanks.
It is good beer.
Thank you, Timmy.
I didn't know. So yeah.
So the goat.
Cheers.
And there's some lore behind the goat.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Chaw.
Yeah.
Chaw.
So, folks in the skateboard and snowboard community also may know Timmy as Shred Goat. So there's a whole. I mean, do you have anything any stories on the Shred Goat?
I don't know. I just make stupid goat noises, and then I just somehow there was that whole Jim Brewer thing where he was Goat Boy, and there was that whole thing which I thought was actually a really funny skit that they did. The whole one with Pamela Anderson and stuff, the gropey goat and stuff. But it just ended up being like this call to arms. Like if I was snowboarding with some friends or something and we got separated, somebody would start we'd all make goat noises. For a while it was like we made raven noises, but then there was so many ravens flying around in the mountain that we're like, hey, is that homeboy over there? We're like, we're trying to we're like, oh, it's actually a bird. So we were like, let's make it the goat noise. So then I just became obsessive about making goat noises because that's my personality, I guess, and so it just stuck. So and I got the tattoo that a really good friend of mine did of it's a little custom goat that he did for me. He came out to visit and did it right on my living room or on my kitchen table, which was really cool. And
I'm a Capricorn. It's the goat is the thing, the animal with it.
Yeah, I'm an Aries, so I'm it's not a goat, it's the sheep or not.
It's the
so
the other
ram,
the other ungulate.
Yeah,
they're buddies, goats and
they're
rams.
hoof.
They share territory,
Yeah.
So habitat.
Carna hoof.
Yeah. So I like that, So I always was like, oh yeah, goat, and then there's mountain goats out here. When I hike.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get in terrain where there's mountain goats, it's always exciting.
Well, they're just intriguing creatures, man. They get in places where, I've been in the backcountry hiking around, and I've experienced seeing them where I'm like, how did you even? Why
and you look at the
did you go
foliage
there?
up there, and it's like plants this big,
minuscule.
They're eating that.
Yeah.
There's no water.
You're like, dude, the grass is 16 inches tall down here. You should come on down off that rock and have a meal.
They're really intriguing creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, they are for sure.
And they, I've had those goats on top of. Most mountains around here, you go up and the goats are pretty wild and aloof, and they're not going to get too close to you.
Yeah.
But those goats on Sacagawea are different. They see so many people. It's their house. People keep coming up, so they'll get really close to you, and they'll kind of. Have you ever had a standoff with? I've had little standoffs.
Yeah,
up there, but they're kind of like.
I've had that snowboarding.
I will buck you off this mountain.
Yeah.
you know.
Fuck you.
And I'm like taking their picture. They're like, no, seriously, dude, I'll like destroy you in your camera.
Yeah, that's great. And that's so funny that I found that this is what I ended up getting, because I literally walked down the whole aisle, then I started walking back, and that was the last 6-pack of that, and it had the Radical graphic, and I'm like, I'm just grab that.
Shred Goat, let's bring it. We're going to talk about music in a minute, but let's talk about skating for a second.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to know?
So, all right, so there's demolished decks here.
Yep.
There's, you know, we've got so much to get into, but let's start with the skating and then bring it to the guitar.
Okay. Cool.
When'd you start skating?
Oh, when I was about 13.
Nice.
1985, Pennsylvania.
Yep. And so, what was the skating scene like then? I mean, that was like that was sort of the golden age. Not the golden age, but it was the forefront.
It was like definitely
it
was the golden age of, I don't want to say DIY because that's just so overused, but it was like seek and find. Yeah. Seek and destroy.
It was like finding urban areas to with you know, right?
Finding drainage ditches, and like finding some radical cool fellow that you didn't even know lived like 30 miles down the road that had a ramp.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're friends with him and he's friends with you. And
or in the summer somebody's building a ramp.
Yeah, it was just this continual interconnection of not only the skating, but the thing that came along with it that was even better was the music. The exposure to all the good music.
That's the thing, it was linked up.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, that was kind of like the turning point for me, where I went from my brother being my influence with really bad hair metal, and the coolest thing I really got turned on to is probably like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath, and that's my big brother turned me on to all that stuff. And but skateboarding exposed me to like everything that I had no fucking clue about. Excuse my language. But cool. There was just this whole, and the thing about it was everybody shared the music because it was just like we skated to it, and so everybody wanted to be like, hey, I need a copy of that
tape cassette.
Yeah, I need a copy of that cassette.
Like,
and that's so funny. The funniest memory I have correlating between skateboarding and music as a kid is there was this band called Malefice, and they were like heavy like punk band from Virginia outside of DC.
Yeah.
And we got this cassette tape of it, and my friend made a copy of it on the wrong speed, and so it was like super fast. I mean, it was like chipmunk punk, man. It was like hardcore, and we were just like, holy shit, Malefice, man, they're like hardcore. And then we played this cassette to a friend who had the 7-inch, and he's like, dude, that's the wrong speed. And we're just like, what do you mean? And so we all like listened to it, and it sounded like like somebody, it was like drop F or something. I mean, it sounded so drone after we put it on the right speed. But I actually still have the insert from that 7-inch and my like memorabilia junk that I had, because I'm a total memorabilia pack rat. If you haven't noticed, but
that's rad.
But that's was really cool. Just so funny when we actually realized, oh my god, this is we're dumb.
That's awesome, man.
That's what I love about skating too. I'm all about whatever you're into with team sports and everything. But me, I had team sports shoved down my throat when I was a kid. And
skating's community.
Yeah, and skateboarding turned me onto this whole other thing of like, you don't like, you can excel at something, but that doesn't mean you have to be like all competitive about it. You can just have fun with your friends, and you just get better naturally through having fun with your friends. And just continuing to doing it. And where I'm going with that is, guys that play football and baseball and hockey, you know, they reach a point where they get so beat down that they made like a ton of money and they retire. But with skateboarders, it's like a lifelong thing. You don't I'm almost
adapt,
50. Yeah,
you kind of adapt to the way you.
Yeah,
you a little bit like.
You realize there's limitations when you get older, and you definitely can only push yourself so hard without really just paying for it, you know. But
and if you want to like get a little, like, if you want to go a little harder, you pad up and you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, there's different levels, and that's the cool thing is you can skateboard on any level and you're accepted in that community of friends, because it's like an open arms brother and sisterhood, you know.
And this in Montana, and I mean Jeff Ament is worth mentioning. Like these guys have kept the. And I'm just talking about like there's skateboarding is alive in Montana.
Yeah, I've played for Jeff with my skate guitars, and I've gone to the skate parks he's built with his money that he's donated to, and he's
basically wants to build a park
tons
in
of parks.
In a smooth concrete park in every town in Bozeman.
I mean,
in
the one
Montana.
in Livingston
Every
he
town in
helped
Montana.
fund, the park over there.
I mean, he did one in Browning. You were there.
I played a couple of the benefits for that too as well. I mean, I try to.
He did the Great Falls. Great Falls. He did.
No, above that he did. He did.
Okay.
He did Browning. He did Big Sandy. He did Hamilton, Darby. He did Stevensville.
Yeah.
I couldn't even name them all off the top of my head.
Do you
right
like
now.
skating at the park here in Bozeman?
Yeah. I like every park because it's like they're all different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you're building guitars out of decks, and you've cut these things up. And how different are? I mean, is it the way it's this? I know nothing, Timmy. So the way a skateboard is built, it's basically the same as it's always been. It's just we're plywood, but we're just maybe
it's maple typically, and it's
like
cross laminated maple. Yeah.
I mean, has that evolved drastically, or is it?
Yeah, I mean the shapes. I mean the actual construction of the sandwiching of the board and the glue laminates and stuff has kind of stayed the same, but the shapes have changed and the concaves and the flip noses. Boards used to be really flat and they have really
bent.
small noses
and are those like heat? Like, are those bent with heat or are they like carved?
They're pressed with
right?
Yeah. They're just
the way like a guitar, like guitar ribs of acoustic guitar.
Yep.
Yeah, and maple
typically hard rock maple. Yep.
Yeah, rock maple.
Yep.
So they're kind of built similar to drums.
They are, and I actually met one of the Professor Paul Schmidt. He's like one of the most legendary board builders. There's another guy, Official Jerry, out of Texas. He's a pretty legendary board builder as well.
Nice.
There's just so many underground companies, and like there's all these new companies, but they have roots tied to the founding fathers of the industry. It's like constant passing of the torch. It's like trying to keep skateboarding in the industry so that it doesn't become what everything else becomes, just saturated crap that you don't want to be a part of anymore. It's like that's when I started skating. I mean, I used to I got my tooth chipped and knocked out because I was a skater. I got my head slammed against a locker in gym class.
Oh, wow, that kind of thing.
That's like the kind of crap I dealt with. Skating, like skating wasn't cool when I grew up. I mean, I get my ass kicked for skating, and that's where the term grip tape forehead for us came from, because that's like a skateboard. At one point was just like you considered it like a life tool because you're like some dude just wants to mess with you because you have a skateboard. It's like. What kind of mentality is that? That's that teaches you at a really young age that you don't want to purvey that kind of vibe toward people. There's that's like the thing about skating, and I'll just be quick about it, is like we embrace everybody, little kids that are just learning, we don't take someone's inability as an excuse to make fun of them.
I mean, that's has a lot to do with why skateboarding has been there's still a purity to it.
Yeah.
Because it's core. It's slightly less exploitable on a certain level.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and skaters take things into their own hands. And I mean, look at Portland, look at Burnside, look at there's probably 100 underground skate parks built by skaters right now that people don't even know even exist. Yeah. But people are out like having enjoyable times and just mind their own business, and that's good. Yeah, that's a good thing.
And it is a great thing for kids, and to be like it's free once you have this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing.
You can go have some release.
Yeah, skateboarding's affordable.
So until you break your board.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get into the guitars. So
cool.
There's so much to talk about with Timmy too, by the way, because he's an amazing drummer.
No, it's because I talk a lot.
So we're going to get into the guitars and we're going to come back. So you started playing let's just go from here. You started playing guitar. When did you probably started dabbling, and then you?
Yeah,
Cause I remember
it
I
was
sold
bass
you
guitar was where I
I
started.
sold you that I sold you that Les Paul.
The Les Paul, yeah.
Well, first it was a Jaguar.
Yep, I got the
Remember?
blacktop Jag,
The
which
Jag.
I loved, and then I traded the and Music Villa props again.
So
you
you had-
guys have always been there for me. I've got
And Timmy has always jam space and different projects going, and he's playing drums at home, and correct me if I'm wrong. He got this idea. He's playing drums, and he has these riffs and things in his head, and he wants to hear the whole thing. So he's like, I need to just play some of this stuff.
yeah.
So he gets guitars.
Yep.
He always
and the kids
him.
come into play because I was like,
Yep.
I was
And his kids are
staying-
playing guitars.
My
Yep.
kids were.
You had
I
the
was
mini
at home a
Ibanez.
lot. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
at home a lot. I wasn't a social butterfly at all. I was
Because
like,
he's drummer from. Just real quick, what age did you start playing drums?
I 4 years old.
Yeah, your parents are drummers.
My grandfather was
That's
a drum and bugle corps drummer, and
That's
he
right,
he
yeah.
took me to all the parades when I was a kid, and he would get me right up front because I was just short little sawed off dude like I still am. And
So Timmy's like an established drummer, in his early 20s. He's like playing in bands, growing all his whole life playing drums in bands, always the go-to, guy, great drummer.
Thanks,
So
man. Appreciate
for
that.
forever, right? So he's kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong again, but I feel like you kind of hit a point with your drums where you're like, all right, I can drum. I got this, but you were more into writing.
Yeah, and I love the guitar.
And you always love guitar, and drums and guitar have this symbiotic relationship.
They do.
So
I just hadn't realized it yet. I did. I like had an old Gibson acoustic guitar. It's one of the only things that I ever traded off that I was regretful about because it was like a old J100. My friend had shot it up with a BB gun and stuff and gave it to me. And when I moved here, it had like the BB indentations in the top of the body, and I was just like, but I traded it off, and who has it now is a great player, and I'm like, it's in great hands.
Well, that's
and
cool.
He restored it because
that's good.
So that's cool.
No, that's great.
But I know that
that's a success though.
But
It's
I
in the
learned how to
family.
play guitar on that guitar.
Oh,
pretty much.
Rad, man. Bozeman built Gibson.
Don't know if it was a Bozeman build, but
Yeah,
it was
probably.
old,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
It was like from like probably the 60s.
Oh.
It was old.
That thing's worth some money.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, damn, what did I do? But I got a great guitar out of it.
Yeah.
I got a huge, like a jumbo Gibson custom acoustic, and I ended up trading it in here, and I got that Les Paul. So, I mean, I worked it.
Yeah. So, Timmy, he started acquiring, gigging, like good, high-quality electric guitars. Got the Jag, the Les Paul, da-da-da.
But then I had to learn how to play. I couldn't learn. I didn't know how to play standing up, dude.
Yeah, you had to learn
I didn't know how to
standing up.
play. It was like.
And he got a good amp, and I remember when that was all. I totally just remember when that was all happening with you, when you were like the evolution of Timmy's guitar playing. And he always had guitars around, but he decided he was like, started spending real time with it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
writing riffs. And
when I played with you, we had gigged together, and
yeah.
I just played with a lot of people that were really good players, and I'm just like, it got me like totally stoked out to want to just try to learn actually to stand up and play. I mean, that sounds ridiculous.
Timmy and I have played together forever, and he's like, he's like one of my favorite drummers to play with, and all.
Likewise, this guy is a hell of a riff master.
So Timmy's like we played together 3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, that
but
was
that was fun with Black Mountain. That was a fun show.
That was fantastic.
But that's on Facebook. You can watch it.
I know that was a great show.
it.
They were
Yeah.
a great band to play with.
Those guys were
really
awesome.
cool folks.
I like those dudes. I like everything they did.
Likewise.
So Timmy, he's played with me in all kinds of crazy scenarios and getting, rocking hard or kind of keeping it cool for a wedding or something.
Yep.
Very, very versatile, different stuff. So, nice guitars, Les Pauls, this and that. The evolution of the skate guitar. I remember when you decided to start doing this.
This was the first one.
What was the magic moment? What was the initial? Did you look at a deck and go, "Oh, I could do that," or did you?
Yeah, I just had. Well, I thrashed a couple guitars, beat them up with drumsticks because I was at one point when I had started Timmy and the Tourette Syndrome, I was a one piece and I just literally sat a guitar in a stand and I took a steel dowel and made a guitar, like a metal slide with a drumstick. And I would like literally just beat the shit out of a guitar while I was playing the drums. This with a stick that I could flip back and forth, and I could play it on my drums. And then I did it at the Cottonwood Club when we played that show together. Remember that?
Yeah,
So,
totally. That was fun.
So that was fun. But then, that was kind of the beginning of it, because I beat up a couple guitars and I didn't know what to do with them. And then I had all these old skateboards, and I'm like, I wonder if I could like make a guitar out of a skateboard. You know, I just kind of was like, so then I just.
This was number one.
No, this was the first
That's
one right
the number
here.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the third one. Yeah.
Okay, I remember. Yeah, okay.
So this one, I mean, I just kind of put a call out on Facebook and was like, anybody got some parts?
So that's the number one, the number two, the number three.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'm so wrong.
No,
okay.
it's cool.
So run us through. Will you grab number one there and just run us through? It's a single Tysco pickup.
Yeah, it's from 1969. The pickup.
Did you take a Tysco guitar and take both the bridge?
I took everything.
Yeah.
I just took.
I like that you put the tailpiece. That's rad.
Yeah, I mean, I basically.
How does that connect under there? Is it
you
through?
can see it. Like there.
Did you put string ferrules in there?
No.
Oh, you screwed it in.
They just go.
Where do you attach the ball end to the string?
Right underneath. There's like a little.
Oh, yep.
It's like
it's
old
kind of
school.
A tricky one to string.
Yeah, it's weird, and sometimes it buzzes a little.
You have ones with a trapeze essentially bridge where there's strings behind the bridge.
Yep.
And then ones that are hardtail.
Yeah, you can get a lot of. This one is the feedback machine though. This one.
And this one has a trem system. That one's the feedback machine?
Yeah,
because the pickup's very microphonic.
Oh, it is, and you can scream through every one of them. Like I didn't know that when I built them, but this chamber, you can just put it right here and you just scream right into it.
Let's do it real quick.
Well, I have to. I'll plug her in. Yeah, here. Let me.
So
I'll do it through the other one. So so this is made. So
is that one the most microphonic?
Yeah,
Tysco
this
pickup?
thing is just. I mean, you can literally play it like a drum. You can just. It's so reactive. It's like a microphone in there. And then, so this neck came from Jimmy Kehoe, and I want to give props to James and Jimmy Kehoe, Nate Howe, because they literally gave me all these parts. I mean, they gave me tons of stuff that I would have been spending a bunch of money, and that was defeating the purpose, because I built all these for
reappropriated
under $100 for all three of them. I only spent money on strings and bridges. Really, that's it. That's nothing else.
Yeah, reappropriated parts.
So the neck is from Jimmy. This is all stripped out of a Tysco that Nate gave me, but it was toast. The neck was so torqued that it was unsalvaged. You couldn't play it anymore, and so I just took it all in one piece and
How did you get the idea? Because they're stable. So the sandwiching, you know what I'm saying? Where you just one day put boards together, put decks together, and go, oh man, there's room for the electronics in here.
Imagine this table right here.
Yeah.
In my workshop. And that's what I did. I just laid a bunch of parts out, and I just started tinkering around, and this is what I did. I took like one deck, and typically they'll be broken or something, and if it's splintery, I'll cut it off. But like this one is like the coolest because it's actually got a guitar on it. And
banjo.
so it's music.
Turtles
it's
play
music
banjo.
related. It's got a harmonica in its mouth. It's really cool triangle. It's really cool.
So that's your next one.
So basically what I do, since they're concaved and they sandwich together, there's actually a company that makes guitars Prisma.
Yeah.
They sandwich them and sell them for like a couple $1,000s a piece.
Yeah, and they're beautiful.
They're fantastic. I mean, if I could ever afford one, I would throw down hard from one of those because they're just, I'm a skater. Why not? But what I do is I take them and I do this. So that creates the membrane, but then it's not deep enough for the electronics to float. So like with these two, I actually used the rails for skateboards as a spacer.
Oh, cool.
So I got the plastic rail, skate rail. You can just buy them at the skate shop.
That's great.
And it's a spacer.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's literally just like no rhyme or reason, but that works.
Glues and screws and glue?
Yeah, I mean,
screws
literally like no glue.
No glue?
No glue.
Zero glue?
Because if it needs to be taken apart to fix, the funny thing is it's like I've literally pieced a couple of these together with like drywall screws. I mean, it's like low budget, man, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of how it starts. What I do is I I'll take a neck, and this is kind of
Get rid of some of the sharp edges.
This is
maybe.
kind of crazy. Okay, so this whole patterns match up, dude. Are you seeing this? I mean, what are
really?
What are the
With the
chances?
trucks?
What are the chances of that? I mean, so that was like the first epiphany.
With the trucks?
Yeah, it matches up. So, and it's centered perfectly on the board. Okay, so it's like your neck is already perfectly centered. You
Pre-drilled.
don't have to do anything.
Wow.
You just so that's step one. You just you look at a board and you're like, okay, it's true. You look down it, it's flat, it's good. You hook the neck up. Typically, I'll go this way because I like to have them long.
Yeah.
So I'll like do that neck thing down this end.
Mm-hmm.
But so that'll hook up. It'll be like that, and it's a piece now, and then I keep it like that, and then I take this other piece, and I'll just configure whatever I want. I'll trace. That one's like a really radical one that I was thinking about Prince. I'm like, I love Prince, and I'm like, he's had those really crazy guitars, and so I just made.
I get that.
Those really
this
radical.
curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's like
Yep.
the Prince
It
notch.
is like little, yeah. It's a little.
So I did that, but then when this goes on, and I just kind of put this over the top of it, and I imagine like, okay, I want to have, I just draw a little cutaway out, and I'll think about like a Jazz Master, or I got one of my guitars that Nate gave me, and I traced, this is actually traced off of a guitar Nate gave me that was a 69 Colored Cat, Bobcat, made by
Harmony, maybe?
Harmony, yeah, it was a Harmony, yeah.
So,
So that's kind of how it
your
goes.
next one, and real quick, we need to make some sound.
Yes.
So your next one's going to be a bass.
Yeah, I'm actually
Right?
gonna make a bass, and
Maybe you're gonna have to stabilize that more for the
yeah,
tension.
for sure. Yeah, there's gonna be
Maybe have more of a
bigger.
what are you gonna do there?
I think-
Attach something to this
I know
that
what
stabilizes it to the.
won't use drywall screws. No, I'll just like you're saying, man. I'll reinforce everything and
Reinforce
make it kind
it
of.
more,
I
yeah.
might actually like drill a hole through the body and like sandwich, like put like a
You might
T-nut.
consider like wherever you attach this having another layer, whatever the middle center a core. You might have to make
I
a core
do that
there.
actually. Check it out. With this one, I made it. It's out of skateboards.
Oh yeah, see like
Right
that.
there,
So
yeah.
what if you extended that piece and
I
then your
could, yeah.
string made it like a faux neck through.
Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
your strings came through that.
Yeah, you could,
piece.
and that would actually
Might-
like solidify
might.
it, make it a little stronger.
But you
I'm
got,
all
you got
open-
truss rods. and
I'm
all those
open
things.
to suggestions, man. I mean, literally that one. This board has sentimental value because it's Cardiel, and John Cardiel is like a legendary skater that he got crippled by a real freak accident. He got like partially run over, but they were like, you'll never walk again, and he actually skates now. He like
Nice.
started ripping on like road bikes. He like reached a point where he could ride bikes again, and then he started skating again. Everyone's like, holy shit, Cardiel is skating again, and
Cool.
everybody in the whole skate world was just like, yeah, because
That's
like the
rad.
dude was crippled. But that's
Yeah.
the rad Cardiel weed board. It's got the homegrown 420 yard sale, and I broke it, and I was so bummed. I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do with this thing? And so I just set it back for years. And then I'm like, skate guitar!
Yes.
I'm gonna
Nice.
play it again. Like it's like
Yeah,
a board
dude.
that I skated both of those.
Yeah.
And I love the boards, and then they reached the point I couldn't skate them anymore, and I'm like, bummer.
Yeah.
But then I made guitars out of them, and I'm like, stoked.
Yeah.
And
dude.
then this one is like a friend of mine.
And that
Dave
makes sense.
Goff's.
Of course, you have to put a piece there because you need
Yeah.
a neck pocket.
Yeah.
A little neck pocket.
That
So-
one's got a piece of oak.
Nice.
It's oak flooring.
So let's plug these guys in.
yeah, for sure.
Want to?
Yeah.
Cool.
This one's ready to go.
That one's a three decks.
Yeah, this one. Okay, so yeah, back to one quick thing. Those two are made kind of the same. They have the rails that are sandwiched, but this one has got this other. I took basically another skateboard, and I just made a skeleton piece in there that I cut out the whole inside of that, so it's just basically like, a template going around, so that it would create the space. It's the spacer.
Oh, you route it out. It's hollow.
Instead of
It's
routing
hollow.
it,
Yep.
it's the spacer for the electronics to flow.
Oh, you didn't route it. You just cut it.
Yeah, I don't use
Yeah.
routers, man. I go minimalist. I literally use hand tools, a battery-powered jigsaw, and a sander. That's
So
it.
let's so Timmy. So real quick here, your bands. Start making noise. Your bands. Timmy and the Tourette's, Scavenger. We'll go into that, but Timmy and the Tourette's is a one-man band. It was Timmy's brainchild.
And then it morphed.
Now Scott Gorski.
Yeah, Scott Gorski is the bass player. Yeah.
So, but it started just you with drum loops.
Well,
so will you give us an example?
And yes, and I want to say one more thing is that the whole other
Scott
reason
Gorski.
that I made the guitars is because I was like kind of fed up with conventional guitars because they always have glitches. Like there's always something. It's like if it's a static problem or if there's something going on, and I just got fed up with it because I'm like, daggone it, I'm not a guitar tech. So then I'm like, well, I want to build a skate guitar because then I'll have a guitar that I can fix. I won't feel guilty about fucking it up, and I'll have my own sound. Like no one else to be able to replicate my sound because no one will have one. And that was like kind of the whole. Yeah. That was like one of the main driving forces. Yeah. So yeah, the guitar, it's it's got a 5-way switch. This one's got 2 pickups out of an Epiphone, the Les Paul, and an SG that the boys in Scavenger gave me.
Nice.
And then all the electronics is just stripped out of more stuff that Kehoe gave me, and I just plopped it in here and rewired it.
So let's kick a little drum loop or do whatever you want.
So. Just a little noise.
And Timmy's drum loops, he plays them. Timmy sits there and
I'm not a programmer.
Yeah, he has Mike set up into his looper pedal and plays that drum loop. He does not use fake drums. Why would you if you're a drummer like Timmy?
Well, and the thing is that was another thing is like
your drum sets are like your guitars too. Your drum sets are like today. Sorry to interrupt, but today I showed up with my floor tom is a reappropriated kick drum.
Yeah,
he has 22-inch floor tom.
Well, I've got like 40 drums. I'm a musical hoarder. Let's just get it out in the open.
I want to talk about your bands too before we sign off. So, will you plug in a couple more of the guitars to me?
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe one more anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe just that one.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to hear that one. And will you scream into it?
Everybody.
I got you.
Yeah, you got to scream into it.
I will do that, but I got to tune it real quick because I know this thing is just.
So while you're tuning,
hasn't been played in a while.
Yeah, tune up. While you're tuning, let's mention your bands. Your current. I mean, Timmy over the years. When I first met Timmy, it was a different time in Bozeman. It was an awesome, great time in Bozeman for music, and we had some really interesting, really good original rock bands back then, and it was like the post punk and rock and roll era.
Yeah, for sure. Bipolar band.
Post.
Yeah.
But it was so Timmy was in a band called Dwarf Tosser.
No, I wasn't.
That was Paul.
I was Paul. I was in.
But you were in Valedictorian.
Valedictorian, yep, and it was basically the same dudes.
Coxicle,
yeah. Whippersnapper, which was just a drum and bass collaboration and playing.
I got spelled Coxicle.
Cox, yeah. I was like, you guys, why are you doing this to me? Why are you giving me this horrible name I gotta represent here?
And Valedictorian made a record. Maybe both those bands did. That Valedictorian album's cool. We
played with some good bands that came through at that time. We played with Victim's Family. We played with No Means No, Skeleton Key.
Yeah, I remember that.
We played with a bunch of really good bands, so that was another just good time to be in a band. And those dudes all made me a better musician, especially like me and me and Stork, the bass player, went on to create Whippersnapper and just a bass and drums.
Together, remember?
Yep. And he just like his writing ability and the stuff that he wrote was so complex that it made me a better drummer.
Stork's like an odd time master. He's like a Mike Patton.
Totally. He turned me on
and
so much.
And Pat Helwick. Let's just mention Pat Helwick.
Well, hey, Pat gave me this pedal right here. This pedal that I have.
Oh, sweet, man.
It's the distortion.
One
the
of the
DM.
greatest, riff.
But it was so toast. He's like, you can have it. It doesn't even work. And I tore it apart, and I've cleaned
Got it rolling.
It worked. It was like,
so
holy shit.
okay. So past Timmy bands, there's been a
ton.
A bunch of great ones. Current bands, Scavenger,
and Timmy and the Tourette's.
Yep. And those are his two main projects currently. Timmy and the Tourette's. How many records with Timmy and the Tourette's?
Well, we just put out. Here, I actually have it.
They've recorded a bunch.
We self-recorded.
Your first one was a solo album.
This one is. It's got everything on it. That's your copy for you, Joe. I don't know if you have it. Yeah, for
the newest one, I don't.
Well, that's everything. We've had two different ones, and
you did a solo one too.
Well, that one it's not on there. That's just all me and Gorski.
This is you and Gorski?
Yeah, and it's like it's like 18 songs on there, I believe.
I appreciate that.
And we did it all ourselves. We recorded it all. We packaged it. I spray painted all the
paper bag.
Yeah, open it up and check it out, man. We did all that. We made the stencils by hand.
I don't want to.
You just open it like this. Look, just like this.
Like
unfold
lunch.
it, just like a
Just
brown
like
bag.
A school lunch.
Check it out, and then the CD just.
There's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in
there. There is a smashed PB&J in there.
Oh, there's some fruit that the kid's never gonna eat. He's not gonna eat that fruit.
We put some really good fermented fruit.
Throws that shit away. It's a little American jerk.
The handwritten track list.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got. Here's a T-shirt for you too. We made these for the same. We did that all stenciled and spray painted.
Is that a stamp?
Yeah, we went to the craft store.
That stamp,
we did.
Timmy.
We got a custom Tourette's stamp, and we got the bat
It's
stamp.
a great looking stamp. You got to get a close up of that one. Track listing.
Let's see the shirt.
Oh yeah.
Track listing. PB&J fruit snacks. Some baby carrots.
Yeah, we tried to do everything. We did everything ourselves. Right in the. We call it the Tats Cave.
I'll trade you the fruit snacks for your.
You are a fruit snack.
I'll trade you half of my raspberry PB&J for your grape one.
Your grape poupon. Hey, did you hear it? Did you hear it?
Hey, what do you want?
All I got is
this T-shirt for Timmy.
If you're in Australia, you're like, oh, it's Vegemite and margarine.
If I'm in Australia, I'll be walking around with my guitar like this over my face, and I'll be talking to everybody like this. I'll be like, I love you, boy.
Marmite again, Mom. Sweet. Yeah.
So yeah, I got all these pedals. I got them mostly here at the villa. A lot of them. I just picked up this Space Echo right here, which is really cool. Blue kind of solicited that one on me.
I like that's that Space Echo we had.
Yeah, I just
like that
picked
thing.
it up. I love it, man. It does this really.
You got to spend some time.
Yeah, see, it does like the typical delay, reverb, but if you hold down the morph button.
I always wanted an old Space Echo. They're really expensive.
I know,
now,
like the actual.
They're so cool.
They're like carrying around an extra guitar head.
I've always wanted one.
That's kind of why.
So they have tape in them. Tape.
They actually have the real.
But the tape, the Space Echo is like the original chorus on modulated delay. It's kind of the original modulated delay with the real tape. So anyway, hey, you know who else has a Space Echo on his board?
Who?
He doesn't have a lot of pedals. Dean Ween.
Oh, no kidding.
Has that pedal on
Sick.
his board.
Yeah, I read about it, and it's like it's a digitalized. It's got a longer delay time than the original Space Echo did, and it's just got a couple of different.
He's also from PA.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. There's weirdos there. That's why I tried to get away, but then I realized that I was still weird when I got here. I'm like, oh, it's just me. But dude, so the guitars, like, you can scream through them. It's pretty cool.
And that one's the most microphonic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you can literally. But the cool cool thing you can do is like you can throw a reverb on there, and then you can throw a little harmonist on there, so you can start out.
You know, you can start out just like this, and then you can take it up here like this, and then...
Put Timmy through there. Will that work?
Oh yeah. Where's your speaker at on this? Oh, right there. Oh no, man. There we go. Turn it up a little. There we go. Ready?
Hit a little pedal with that.
Octave. Sounds like thunder.
And that's you know, and that's what it's like. That's
Yeah, I mean, that's
what more
kind
can you say?
I mean, that's kind of how I come up with sounds too. I mean, a lot of this sounds like noise, but I actually do sit down with the pedals.
Did you ever listen to that band Melt Banana?
Yes. Yeah. Dude,
like
you know,
those
I got to say, one of the greatest, like, pedal noise grindcore bands that I ever had the pleasure of sharing the stage with was right here in Bozeman. It was a Lotus Eater show Chris put on, and it was this band called An Atomic Whirl, and it was just bass and drums.
How about Lightning Bolt?
It was insane.
How about
Yeah,
Lightning Bolt?
dude, it's similar
Yeah.
to that. Just like that dude inspired me
Yeah.
so hard just because, well, for one, he didn't have like a pedal board. He just came in with like 20 pedals, and he just threw them down on the floor and just janked them all together. And by the end of the show, a couple of them were like destroyed. He was just like, "Hey, Reynolds," his name is Kenji. He was a crazy dude. He's like trying to sell. He's like, "You want to buy this broken pedal for $5?" I'm like, "No, but I'll buy your CDs." So
And
I
like
bought
a duffel bag of
I bought
loose
his
pedals.
CDs, and they gave us some cool stuff, and
Yeah.
they're just. I mean, that's the beauty of this town, man. I want to
Yeah.
say it. This is a great scene. There's a great music store, which is the hub of any town's music scene. This music store where I grew up folded, and so did the scene. It was kind of weird. Like, it was Ziegler Music. Then it turned. I can't even remember what the second store was where I got my first like big drum set from. But they're not there anymore, and the scene there's no music scene where I grew up, and that's half the reason I moved away. I'm like, I gotta go to the city.
And we got to do a show with
play.
Gorski sometime, because
That- yeah.
Timmy's bandmate Scott Gorski played in some really great local bands over the years. He has a lot of, he could give some good history.
Oh yeah,
about
and he's a
that.
great bandmate, and
Yep.
I mean, I couldn't.
Crate Washer was.
He's
a cool band he played
he's
in.
a phenomenal
Paul,
dude
I
to
like
be
Paul a lot.
inspired by, you know, because that's the beauty of the Tourette's.
Yep.
I get to bounce between drums and guitar. You know, it's
Yep.
two different completely
Him and Paul
worlds.
Mason and
Jim
Dungan too.
yeah,
who
Jim
teaches
Dungan,
here.
Darren Crabtree,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great
Those
band.
dudes all jam together, man. And
All right, let's wrap it up, Timmy.
Yeah, for sure.
Real quick, last thing. Timmy just did a podcast. For Timmy and the Tourette's yesterday.
last night, yeah,
Last
for
night.
the Gallatin
So
Underground.
where can people see that?
You go to you can look it up on Facebook or just go to Gallatin Underground. I'm not sure what the actual website is, but if you just
Gallatin Underground.
yeah, Gallatin Underground.
Timmy and the Tourette's.
Look it up. It's a podcast. We did 6 songs. We did a 2-hour interview. It'll be released in 2 weeks, but in the meantime, there's like 5 other episodes you can watch of local bands, Battle Stations, Death Trophy. I think Cannabis is on there. I can't remember which other bands, but they're all worth checking out. And
Yeah.
they do a great job. And
That's great.
you know, if
So-
they ask you if you want to do it, I would highly
I would definitely
recommend
do
it
that.
because
Yeah,
it's
it's great.
cool. It's fun.
So Tim Bowers, Timmy and the Tourette's, Scavenger, legendary bands of yesteryear and of future legend, you know.
Legendary non-existent bands of the past.
Future legend.
You know.
Future legendary non-existent bands of the future.
And let's give it Blaze. We miss you.
Yeah, Blaze. It would have been fun.
Blaze grew up skating in a similar time, and I'm bummed that Blaze wasn't here because you know he would have had a lot of fun things to say about his memories with skateboarding and.
Yeah.
Would have been twice as long though.
And I want to say too that my kid did set this skateboard on fire before I made a guitar out of it, and I just thought that was kind of cool.
That is.